Hello, and welcome to Pace to Purpose, where every step leads youth, families, and communities toward hope, healing, and wholeness. I'm Nomi Pace Wallace with Nomi for Youth.
And I'm April Pace Williams with Journey to Live Complete. And we're excited to walk this journey with you.
So, tune in each week as we move hearts and minds towards purpose.
One pace at a time. This episode of Pace to Purpose was recorded on May 31st, the final day of Mental Health Awareness Month. But the conversation is still right on time.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Pace to Purpose. My name is Nomi Pace Wallace, and I'm the Executive Director of Nomi for Youth. I'm here with my sister,
April Pace Williams, and I am the founder and CEO of Journey to Live Complete.
And we are here today with our cousin.
Yes.
Yes.
Ray Pace.
Yes.
Okay.
Avid supporter.
Yes. Of Nomi for Youth.
Yes,
he is. And we'll just start off by saying today is actually, even though we've been connected since 2020, today is the first day that we have met him face to face.
Yes.
And it has been a beautiful experience. He's actually our father's first cousin. And our father never had a chance to meet him face to face. And so we are honored today to have this opportunity. And as I said earlier, he has been an avid supporter every single year of our 5K fundraising event. And so we are very glad to have you here today, Kenneth.
I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Man, I love it.
Yes.
Best surprise in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, because let
Tell
me
them about the surprise.
Let me pat myself on the back for a minute. Because right. So when we started communicating, we came off of Facebook and went into text messages, and we decided that we were going to meet up in Houston because we weren't far from each other. So we were going to meet up and do it in person. And even though he's a runner, he decided that he would go ahead and oblige me and my knees to walk this 5K. And so he said, now I just have to find a time to meet up with Nomi. And ding, 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 ding. I was like, Yvonne, you have to come. That's what I call her, y'all. Her name is Nomi, but I call her Yvonne. So I said, you have to be here. We have to surprise him. And so she said, okay, let me figure out my schedule. And it was so hard because we were in a group text together, and I kept trying to tell her once she got here, I kept trying to tell her, hey, send the text saying, no, you can't do that because you're not supposed to be here. So yeah, but it was a wonderful surprise. You'll see it on social media because we filmed it and we really got him, and I'm so happy.
Yes. It was wonderful.
Yeah. Wonderful.
And so today's topic, like we said, we just got back. So now we just got back from the 5K. We did a walk.
Yes.
Kenneth did not run this year.
No.
This is the first year he's done the walk, but he walked with us. And today's topic, since it's the last day of mental health awareness,
right?
We're talking about movement and mental health.
Yes.
So when we talk about movement, I think about running, exercise, yoga, things like that. So Kenneth is an avid runner. He runs. In fact, tell him how many miles you have run so far.
3,118 since 2020.
It's time for an oil change.
Well, I did have been so I guess that was my
that was your oil change.
That was my
okay.
Yes. But it didn't come from running. It came from playing basketball and running.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know you were a hooper.
Not no more.
You were. Not me either, because my knees, but
I retired from the hooping. Doctor said you got to give one of them up. You give up running or hooping. I'm like, easy choice.
Yes.
Yeah. That's hard on your knees.
So since today's topic is about movement and mental health awareness, how would you all say movement? Because it sounds like all of us have been. You're still a major athlete,
Right.
I'm a former athlete.
I'm a former athlete too.
Yeah.
I just, come off sabbatical every now and then.
Okay.
And then my knees be like, nah, you
not
need
gonna
to
be
give
able
it
to
up.
do it.
Yes, exactly. But for me, me and movement is therapy. It's medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
medicine for your body. So I do find a difference in my mood and how I feel. Like just even having done this today, which, I have a dog and I take her around the block, but that's as far as we're going,
Right.
So today to do 3.1 miles?
3.11.
1-1. Okay, we
Okay.
did a little bit extra. So to do that, I feel energized.
Yes.
Typically you think, okay, I'm exhausted or whatever. Now I'm tired.
Yeah.
But
it's a good time.
But it's a good tired.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
How about you, Kenneth?
Well, running came about, when COVID hit, everything shut down. And I was not going to be in the house and everything shut down. And that's depressing because your body needs sunlight.
Right.
So if you don't take in some sunlight, you got to take the vitamin D.
Right.
And vitamin D deficiency causes depression.
Yes, it sure does.
So being that we are sun people, we should be out there in the sun.
Yes.
And mine started out, I didn't plan on running 3,100 something miles. Mine became because of my grandson. When COVID shut down, he came to stay with me while his mom worked, and he did home,
right.
school.
Home, yeah.
Right.
So, kids, they want to get out. Want to go to the store. That's how it started. We walked to the store.
Okay.
Wow.
We walked to the store, and he said, I want to run. I said, go ahead and run. I said, you may tell me, I don't want to leave you.
Oh.
Made me feel old.
Okay, right.
I'm like, I told him, I said, go ahead and run. I said, I'll
catch up to you.
I'll catch up to you. And he took off running. Kids, they run.
Right.
He ran. I just did my I wasn't even running. I probably wasn't even jogging. Probably a fast walk.
Right.
And I caught up to him, and he stopped, bent over. I gave him my hat. I said, you're going to need this. And I kept on him, and I just left him.
Oh, wow.
I left him, but I didn't leave him.
Right.
But I was teaching him, and after the walk, I told him, I said, never be in a hurry to finish your journey. Just take your time.
At your own pace.
Right.
Yeah. And he remembered it.
Wow.
And then next time he came, I had advanced in my walking and running.
Okay.
And then he couldn't keep up for sure. He told me next time we go, I'm going to bring my bike. I said, okay.
You need a bike to stay up with you.
So he brought his bike. But then
Wow.
his bike was cool until we got to the hills.
Yeah, that's
so then
true.
we had to do him again. Now he don't even run with me.
And now you go on
But that's how
ahead.
it
Go on
started.
ahead.
That's amazing.
But it's because if you just think about it, during COVID, everybody was shut down. And if y'all recall, I think spousal abuse
increase
Went up.
because
Yeah.
they didn't have to see each other 24/7.
Right.
So they weren't able to get on each other's nerves, I guess.
You is on my nerves.
Exactly.
Go away.
Yeah. Let's take a little space, Go to your room or something. But,
I was an athlete. I was a gymnast,
Yep.
believe it or not. I ran track. I played basketball a little bit, but I wasn't very good at it. But I was good at track, and I was an excellent gymnast. And I was cheerleader. I would flip off of the pyramids. I would climb to be on the top, and I would flip off of them. But running, when I ran, I never felt more free. It was so freeing. It was like you didn't have a care in the world. They were just all, and I would relate just the breeze going across my face, just to everything going away. There was just nothing but me. It was just me. Just me in the world, just running. So movement and mental health, running clears my mind.
Yes.
It clears my mind. I wish I could still run, but
right. It breaks mental fog. That's another one of the things. And especially for people who ruminate on things over and over again, if you're thinking about something, especially something traumatic or whatever, going for a run, that can help you as well. Because you're clearing everything out of your brain.
Yeah.
It's nothing else.
Now, what I will do now is swim. I will swim. I love swimming, and it's easy on my knees, so I can do that. And it has the same effect because swimming is hard work.
It is.
It is hard work, and you use every muscle that you have, and all I'm thinking about is not drowning. So, so there's nothing to worry about. There's no room for depression,
except whether or not you're gonna drown.
anxiety. No, but actually, that's a joke. That's a joke because
no, because you taught me to swim.
I know. I remember I taught you to swim.
She tried to drown me out, but okay.
I pushed her in the pool.
She did.
Because I had taught her and I knew she could do it.
Pushed that out.
So
overcome her fear.
Yes.
It worked.
Yeah, it worked.
It worked. And now she can outswim me. Yeah. But
yes.
if I never pushed her, she would still be in 3 feet holding on to the side.
Yeah. Sure.
That's
your story. You sticking to it.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
When I run, like you said, it gives you mental clarity. But when I run, I have my headset on and I run the jazz. I've been listening to jazz probably since my brother came from Vietnam, and they came back with a lot of reels, man. He had done with all jazz music, and I started listening to jazz. And I guess when I was in high school, I like about jazz is it's all instrumental, no words.
Right.
So your thoughts can run a little free.
Right. That's true.
When I run, I went running one time, and I got a mile down into my run, and I realized I didn't have my music on. So you know what I did? I turned around,
back and go get it.
got my music, and that's one of those 8 mile days.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
But jazz also.
It'd have been a silent run for me.
Or it'd have been over.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's like some people run with no music and just clear their mind.
Yeah.
With me, when I started off running, I would listen to gospel.
That's what I was.
But then I started doing a different, and I go with R&B. But jazz it helps me to clear my mind.
Yeah.
So everything else is gonna put something on your mind.
Right. With the
with the lyrics.
The lyrics.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to think. Yeah.
But with jazz, and you got that nice breeze hitting you, like the day in the park, and that breeze is
it
coming
was
in.
nice.
And then you got different scenery. I tried the stationary incumbent bikes. Matter of fact, I had no choice when I had the knee surgery. I had to do the incumbent bikes. To me, that's not running. It's exercise, but it's not running.
Right.
It does good for the body.
Yeah,
but not the mind. Because the mind, when you run, you get to see different things. You get to look at like I told y'all about the sunsets. I time my runs when I come back on my run. The sun would be in a perfect spot, and I would take sunsets. Yeah. As a matter of fact, my old phone is full of sunsets.
I know, and I've seen you post them. You post, I've seen them.
I used to post them a lot. When I finished my run, I'd post my mileage, and I'd post the sunset and the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunsets. I fell in love with the sunsets, and that's you talking
like
about
a stress reliever.
Oh my God!
Wow. Yeah.
Because it's the end of your run. You're like,
that's beautiful.
Perfect.
Yes. Well, this has been an exciting conversation, and we'll be right back with more Pace to Purpose on GSSL Radio.
This episode of Pace to Purpose was recorded on May 31st, the final day of Mental Health Awareness Month. But the conversation is still right on time.
All right, and welcome back. We are back on Pace to Purpose, and we've been having a very interesting and exciting conversation. And today we are talking about movement and mental health. We just got back from our 5K walk, and we're here with our cousin Kenneth.
Yes.
And it has been a big blessing to have him here with us today.
Yes.
We are very excited and thankful for that. So we were talking a bit before the break about movement and exercise and how it helps to clear the mind. So the thing that can be challenging for me, I know, and probably for others, is staying consistent.
Right.
How do you stay consistent with your running?
The way I stay consistent is I align it with my faith. Because whatever you believe in, you got to believe in it wholeheartedly. You
Right.
know, and faith takes work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to study to show yourself approved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just study on Sunday
Mm-hmm.
or Saturday
Right.
or whatever. You have to study constantly. So if somebody comes to you with a dilemma, you should be able to steer them in the right direction
Right.
based on what you know, not just something you heard.
Right.
Mm.
Now, a lot of folks, they rely on the pastor to give them the understanding.
Mm-hmm.
But what if I told you you could get your own understanding
Mm-hmm.
by studying the word on a daily basis?
On a daily
Right.
basis.
5-10 minutes a day ain't gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
When you study, you got to study.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying study 3-4 hours a day like I do. I'm retired, so I have that time.
Right.
You know. But study every day. Get you set yourself a block of time to study.
Mm-hmm.
You do the same thing with running. When I first started running, I wasn't running. I was walking.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I walked. I walked every day until I was able to run.
Wow.
And then when I started running, I was running every day until somebody told me, "Hey, you know you're not supposed to run every day. You're supposed to take a break."
Right.
I'm like, I don't know. I just started doing it.
I'm just
I didn't research it. But you got to give your muscles time to regenerate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at that pace, you get your own pace and you decide how far you want to run,
Right.
how long you want to run. Like I run now, I've been running for 5 years, so I run no less than 5 miles when I run.
That's
If
amazing.
on a good day, I can run, a good day to me is wintertime.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because as you get older, your body kind of betrays you. You can't just run like you used to. You got to pick and
Yes,
choose.
it does.
Right.
And in Houston, you can't run in the evening. You can, but you got to be.
You might be
Careful.
passing out.
I run in the mornings,
Mm-hmm.
whereas before I loved running in the evenings.
Right.
You know, you see
Yeah,
my
yes.
sunsets because I was fascinated with the sunsets. I'm
Mm-hmm.
fascinated with the moon, the lunar, and all that stuff. Every
Right.
time something happens, I want to be able to.
Yeah.
Because God is amazing, man.
He is amazing.
You know,
He is.
and He gives us all this wonderful stuff, and we just ignore it because
Yeah.
we're too busy doing our own thing, living
Right.
a fast life.
Yes.
But you got to be consistent. Consistency, like I said, I've been running 5 years, and I didn't get consistent the first year because I was due.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like anything else in life. You got to be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You go to work every day. You're
Right.
gonna be at work, right? Because you want
Right.
that paycheck.
Right.
So you're gonna be consistent.
Right.
And
Develop discipline.
yeah, that's all it is. It's discipline. And
So there's a reward on the other side of that consistency. And I think what like with going to work, that tangible reward of money, that's we're socialized for
Right.
that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it's something that is directly beneficial to us, that we have to put the time and effort into, it
It's
can be more
harder.
difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, you got to have a reason.
Mhm.
I had to change my lifestyle in order to prolong my life.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So that was my motivation to get back in shape. I thought I was in shape because I wasn't obese. I wasn't.
Right.
But my eating habits
Mm-hmm.
and smoking cigarettes
Yeah.
was not.
It didn't work for
I
you.
didn't work.
Right.
It was not conducive.
No.
So my doctor told me, you got to change something.
And you did.
So-
Right.
And to me, that speaks to, and I told you earlier, that takes a very strong mind.
Yeah.
Strong mind, strong heart. I am in awe because, in being athletes
Right.
and knowing what type of commitment that it takes, and to get past a certain age and to be
And
able
still be
to
an athlete.
that's a lot.
Yeah.
So I admire you. I
Mhm.
admire you for that, and wish I can you give me some
Right.
of it? Rub off on me,
Them
please.
jeans didn't pass on.
I think I didn't. I'm probably the only person in my family that started running at 60 years old.
What?
Yeah, I didn't start till I was 60. I was 59, 60.
Oh my gosh! So
Yeah.
I have hope.
Yeah.
Right. There's still hope. There's still hope. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, we were talking earlier about ruminating thoughts
Mm-hmm.
and getting stuck in our minds. And so we talked about how discipline can help us to be more consistent. But what would you say to someone who is stuck in their minds, who is stuck mentally or emotionally? Okay, let's just say I'm stuck mentally, emotionally, I don't know what to do, but I heard this show Pace the Purpose talking about mental health and movement and but I don't know how to get started. What is something that I could do? Like you talked about gradually getting into it. What would you suggest for the listeners?
Someone to get started in moving
and
one step at a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like babies, and this goes right to my studies. Precepts. I ask people about precepts, and they don't know what a precept is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't down them, because guess what? Before I started my studies, I didn't really know what a precept was. I'd read it in the Bible, but I didn't really focus on a precept. And a precept is basically instructions. Goes back to teaching. It's an instruction. Goes back to a baby. Babies start out on milk before they can get to the meat.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same thing. You got to start out with the milk,
Mm-hmm.
because you're a baby.
Right.
So until you are able to digest meat,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta stay with the milk.
Yep.
Right.
And then once you with the milk long enough, you got enough nourishment, you're able to ingest more solid foods.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I would tell them.
Absolutely.
Start off as a child, like you don't know nothing.
Right.
You don't know nothing. Just erase everything you think you know, and just start out on milk. Start all over again.
Right.
And
So
then,
maybe just go for a walk. Maybe a walk turns in and changing the distance and the amount of time and all of that. I know when I was calling myself trying to get back in shape or whatever, that's what I would do. But my goal was to be able to run again.
Yeah.
My knees didn't want to cooperate with that. However, when I was trying to do that, I would every now and then I would walk a certain distance, and then I would jog, and then I would walk, and then I would jog. And the more I did it, the further I would run. I would be able to run. And so and then by the time I finished, I was like, oh, I'm actually running a full mile. I hadn't done that since high school.
Self-fulfillment.
Yes. And then my niece said, no, we're not doing that anymore. So.
But is it your knees or is it here?
Oh no,
Your knees.
It's the knees. That's what the MRI said.
Okay.
They say
Yeah. It's my knees too.
Yes. No, trust me.
It's my knees too. And that's why I have to get in the pool.
Yeah.
Because I have to do
Low
impact.
Right.
Low impact. And I'm only a little ashamed to say, I have to do chair workouts sometimes because of my knees.
No, I'm gonna tell you something about that.
You're working out though.
You're working out.
Yeah.
A body in motion stays in motion.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when I retired, I had to find something to do, because I found myself sitting there watching TV, channel flipping, and I started developing a gut. And I'm too small to develop a gut. So I was like, I got to figure something out. And until my grandson came up, I didn't figure it out until then. But it's just that little small thing.
Yeah.
And I just, like you say, start out walking. I didn't run at first.
Baby
steps. Baby steps. Walk a little bit, run a little bit. Walk a little bit, run a little bit. When I first started out, I was not able to run consistently for an hour, which is what I do. When I run my 6 miles, I can do 6 miles in about an hour, 6 minutes. But I can run constantly for a solid hour. And I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
And once I got that 6 miles, I consistently ran 6 miles. And on days where the weather permits, preferably in the wintertime. Wintertime is the best time to run. Folks hate running in the winter.
Right.
I love it because I'm older. My body's thermometer overheats in the summertime if I go out there. And matter of fact, the first time I ran, being a novice runner, I almost got a heat stroke.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I almost got a heat stroke because let me tell you something. I ran and at noon.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you were tripping.
Where
No,
in Texas?
And I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. I ran at noon because before I ran, I had to eat. And after I eat, I gotta rest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Right.
So by the time I get through eating, cooking breakfast, eating, let my food digest, it was 11:30,
Oh my
12
goodness.
o'clock. So I go running,
Wow.
and then I'd run with no problem. Take my shower with no problem. Sit down, get ready to rest, and it just hit me. I had to turn the TV off, close the blinds, put something over my head, and I had to lay there for 4 or 5 hours because the pain was so intense. And I asked my friend, I'm like, they said, did you eat before you ran? I'm like, yeah. What time did you run? I said, no. They said, boy, you crazy.
May as well been running in hell.
You can't run at that time of day. I'm like, really? I was like, I had a hat on, had the shades on. I had my sunblock. Oh yeah, and you have to wear. We have melanin, but we still got to wear sunblock.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that wasn't the kicker. So I didn't run for like 2 weeks because
After that,
once you get a heat almost a heat stroke, you're more susceptible to get another
To
one.
get another one, right.
So I waited 2 weeks, and I went running again, but
this time earlier.
a little bit earlier. But I overheated again. I did it again because I was susceptible to have one.
Right.
Kind of like a concussion. Once you get one, you get another.
Right.
And if I don't watch when I run, I'll get another headache. I can feel it coming on. I didn't realize because when we ran that the first time, it was 22 degrees. Man, you just don't know. Well, again, I ain't even mention I love you because I like I ran 22 degrees. Well, I think I texted you and said, hey, it's 22 down
Okay,
there.
yeah.
I said, I'm going to run though.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a good day today, though.
Today was a beautiful day to be out there.
Best day ever.
Yes.
It was beautiful for physically and the heart.
Exactly.
All the
You
way
took the words
around.
out of my mouth. Of all of the 5Ks that we have done,
my gosh,
this
my
has
favorite.
topped it.
Yes.
Topped it. So it has, like I said, been a blessing this year. The 5K is actually over now, but you can still donate to Know Me for Youth by going to www.g2knowme.org.
And you can follow Know Me for Youth on Facebook at g2knowme.org. And you can follow Know Me for Youth on Instagram at knowme_for_youth.
And you can also follow Journey to Live Complete on both Facebook and Instagram using at J2LIVE and the number 7. To listen to past episodes of Pace to Purpose on YouTube, go to at Pace to Purpose. Or if you have a show idea, please email us at pacetopurpose@gmail.com.
In the meantime, we will be here every Saturday at 2 p.m. Central on GSSL Radio.